I'm Sean McCarthy, and I'm the Chief Engineer of Innovation and Technology at Hemlo. DTAC is a system for categorizing and cataloging all of the various plans that go into the underground mine plan, getting them all into one place so that the entire mine is following one plan, and coordinating those tasks and resources to a common goal. Well, we have a unique opportunity at Hemlo to expand the mine. We have a number of studies going on in the engineering department and in geology as well. We have a lot of drills operating. But one of the things we do have to do in order to make those things come to fruition is get some better control over our underground mining costs and also over our production costs. Well, if you look at the grade tonnage curve on the material that we have at Hemlo, there's a lot of material as you lower your cutoff grade. So if you can lower your mining cost, then you lower your cutoff grade and you bring a lot more material into the plan. You know, Hemlo's a very mature mine. It has a large fixed infrastructure, big huge shaft, big crushers and belts. It has a lot of material that's underutilized. In its heyday, it did around 2 million tons a year of ore from underground. Now we're doing 1 million. So we're doing about half. And all of those fixed costs to run the shaft, to keep the fans going, to heat the air in the wintertime, they keep going no matter how many tons you produce. So at half the productive capacity, those fixed costs get spread over only half as many tons. So if we can move more tons with the same number of people, the same amount of equipment, and the same fixed infrastructure, the unit costs go down, our cutoff grade goes down, lower grade stopes become economical. Okay. So cutoff grade is the grade of ore at which you break even on that ton. So when your direct operating costs are equal to your revenue from that ton. Sure. So the grade is the quantity of valuable material in the rock. So if we use as an example 3 grams per ton as a cutoff grade, so that would mean that at 3 grams you're getting exactly as much money back as you put into that ton to get it out of the ground. So if that rock is at 2.9 grams per ton, you're going to lose money on that ton. And if it's 3.1 grams per ton, you're going to make additional revenue equivalent to that 0.1 gram per ton that's above the cutoff grade. That's how much additional profit you would make off of that cutoff grade. So our cutoff grade at Hemlo right now at the Williams Underground is about 3 grams per ton. Okay. And if you say a gram of gold is worth about 50 bucks Canadian, then every $5 you take off your operating costs, you reduce your cutoff grade by 1 gram per ton. And if you look at a cutoff grade of 2.5 grams per ton versus 3, you almost double the amount of material that's available in the mine. Yes, there's a non-linear relationship between the cutoff grade and the mining rate. So as you increase your mining rate, your cutoff grade goes down at a rate that increases the amount of material faster than you increase your mining rate. So your mine life extends. Right, and at a lot of mines, it is true that the faster you mine the ore, the shorter the mine lasts, because they have very sharp, distinct contracts between ore and waste. It's either ore or it isn't. And the faster you mine it, the quicker it's gone. But at a lot of other ore bodies, and Hemlo's a really good example, you have a less distinct boundary between ore and waste. And so as you increase your mining rate, you actually extend the mine life because you lower your mining costs. Well, one of the biggest changes with DTAC is that production information will be relayed into the system as it happens, and tasks will be assigned on a live basis, and the plan will be adjusted on a live basis. So I guess one of the biggest changes for supervisors will be they won't be chasing tons and chasing metrics and trying to track down figures and doing a lot of bookkeeping. They're going to be spending more of their time focused on job observations, coaching, safety discussions, and things where they have an opportunity to add more value to the crew. There will be new technology that we are going to be adopting and that people will have to adapt to. And one of our main goals in developing this system is to make sure that we have a very user-friendly interface. We're not trying to make some kind of system that shows people how smart we are by programming this incredibly complex system that no one can use. Our goal is to make a system that's intuitively obvious to use. Okay. When you look at the way people use iPad applications for a lot of things that they do, the reason the uptake on those applications is so rapid is because the interface is very simple and the features are obvious to the task that they want to use the application for. And our goal is to replicate that with this system so that when you're using the iPad to help you do your tasks during the day, the way that you use it becomes intuitively obvious. Well, I like fishing. And when I go fishing, I have a fish finder on the boat, and I use that to help me fish, and I have a GPS that I use. And both of those things help me when I'm fishing, but I'm still fishing. When I'm going fishing, I'm still going fishing. I'm still doing the same thing, but I have a couple of extra tools to help me do it a little bit better. Yeah, that's right. If I can spend as much money as I want on the fanciest, best fish finder and the best GPS, and I can get a really high dollar rod and reel and lures, but if my dad didn't teach me how to fish, I wouldn't be able to fish. And it's still always going to be the case that someone who knows how to fish is going to fish better without a fish finder than someone who doesn't know how to fish and fish with a fish finder. That element remains. Well, asset tracking and asset management are two related elements in the system. Asset tracking provides you with spatial location of assets, either mobile assets or movable assets. And a mobile asset would be an asset that tends to move around all the time like a piece of mobile equipment. And a movable asset would be one that tends to stay where it is usually, but moves occasionally, and is then prone to getting lost because it does move in people and people have difficulty tracking it moves. Whereas asset management is getting the live information from the equipment to maintenance. So it's tracking engine utilization, percussive hours, condition monitoring on the equipment. Well, with asset tracking, you have to remember that people are your best asset, and you want to know where they are too, and you have a much higher responsibility to protect them than do your equipment. And part of protecting people in an underground mine is knowing where they are when something goes wrong. When we drop stench at Williams right now, it can take an hour, and I've seen it take up to 2 hours before we actually know where everybody is. And when there's an emergency, a lot can go wrong in 2 hours. And if you're the one who's hurt, you want to know that people know where you are and can come find you. And so to me, that type of connectivity is a regular expectation that we have in our society today. I expect that if I get hurt, I can dial 911. If I get in a car accident, someone driving by can dial 911. I should think that I should have the same protection at work. We have a lot of situations in the underground where multiple crews get sent to the same work heading because their supervisors don't know that another supervisor sent them there. So usually all the plan A assignments are coordinated at the start of the shift. So you don't have different people being sent to the same work area, but it's difficult to coordinate all of the plan B activities that people have set up. So you get 2 crews, they both are on their plan B, they wind up in the same heading, one of them has to get reassigned. That can be very frustrating. Whereas if you know that another crew has been assigned to that heading, you're one step ahead of the game. You don't have to go there and find out. You find out elsewhere. It can be very frustrating to look for equipment at the start of the shift, or even worse, to then eventually find it and then realize that it's down. So knowing where the equipment is and what condition it's in at the start of the shift is critical to getting your day off to a decent start. As the mine moves deeper and further away from the shaft, we end up having to send our ventilating air through a number of vent loops out to that west end. And so you wind up with a lot of congestion and a lot of equipment competing for that ventilating air. And the system we use to control it now is a tag board system where equipment operators tag their equipment into a zone when they enter, tag it out when they leave, and they keep track of how many CFM are in that loop. But with asset tracking, you know exactly how much equipment is in a zone, what the total CFM requirement is for all of that equipment, whether the equipment is running or not running. And so you can put up alarms on a zone, do not enter, wait for another piece of equipment to come out, and you get away from that manual tag board system. Yes, right now the supervisors spend a lot of time at the end of the shift collecting all of the shift data, recording it in the logs, and getting it into a form that's easily passed on to their cross shift that's coming on to the next shift. And we have made some improvements there over the last couple of years with some spreadsheets and some other things to help make it a little bit digital, but it's still a process of manually collecting all that data and keying it in. With the DTAC system, we're going to have that information entered at the machine level, and then it will be run up, summed up for the shift. So the information that the shifter is now focusing on, passing on to his oncoming cross shift, will be safety concerns, hazards that the oncoming shift boss has to know about, those sorts of things, as opposed to just bucket tallies and truck counts and meters and all that kind of stuff. I think that allows the shifters to provide a more quality pass on to the oncoming supervisor, because they're passing on their actual concerns rather than just passing on a bunch of production data. There are at least 3 plans that go into running the mine on a shift-by-shift basis. There's a plan that comes from engineering, which has the production plan, the development plan, all of the physicals associated with it. And it comes in a Gantt schedule. Then there's a plan in Visio, which is the maintenance plan. And then each general foreman has a list of jobs that he needs to get done in his area that forms his own plan. And there's no single system that combines all of those into one overall plan for the entire mine. And part of DTAC is building that integrated plan for the mine. So we take the engineering plan, we take the maintenance plan, we take all of the general foreman's plans, and we build those into one single plan. And on the surface, it looks like a big, huge overload of information that would be difficult to manage. So the way we address that is with a control room operator. So the control room operator sees that large overall plan. The supervisors only have to manage their piece of that plan. They manage their piece of the plan and their resources. They still assign their resources to the plan. They still control their execution of that plan. But in the background, at the control room level, that plan is a piece of the larger plan. Well, there can be only one plan. Can't have any number of plans. So the priorities have to be set at the level of the overall plan. So as the plan may have to shift during the execution of it, those changes can be prioritized by the control room operator. So if a supervisor needs to make a change on the fly to the plan, he can simply call up the control room operator, let them know he needs to make a plan, and off he goes. If that plan is going to cause some interference to a priority item, he'll get that feedback from the control room operator. Today, a miner goes underground with a line out for the shift, and he knows what his tasks are through that shift, and he'll also have some plan B tasks in case he runs into a problem. And partway through the shift, his supervisor will see him, meet with him, and may change some of those assignments depending on what's going on during that day. With DTAC, the miner will be assigned his lineout. When he completes his first task and he enters task complete on his tablet, he'll get a validation of the assignment of his next task. And he might get a different task assigned depending on what's going on elsewhere in the mine. So, the classic example is, you have a jumbo driller, and he's drilling around, and that's where he was sent, and he knows when he's done that, he has to move the jumbo to another heading to drill there. He finishes his round, he trams his jumbo 4 or 5 levels, he gets to the heading he was supposed to go to, and he realizes there's a bolter broken down in the heading. So the round's not bolted, there's a piece of broken down equipment there, and he trammed 4 levels for nothing. With DTAC, when he's done drilling his heading and he says he's done, the control room operator will already have known that the bolter is broken down, will already have dispatched a mechanic, and will already have assigned what that second task will be for that jumbo operator. So when he hits done, he'll go to a certain heading, but it won't be the one with the broken down bolter, it'll be a different heading. So the biggest complaints that I get from guys underground are delays, problems with the plan, and getting underground and finding out that the situation isn't what you were lined out with. And DTAC is being set up to address all of those problems. It's been my experience in 30 years of mining that supervisors don't have time to fire employees. So you might think that, oh, this will have this big brother system and we'll have someone to sit there and watch what everybody's doing. There's no one who has time to just sit there and watch this machine. A lot more continuity in the plan with Deswik Ops. So the mine plan and engineering is made with Deswik CAD and Deswik Scheduler. So there's a direct import from the mine planning software into the scheduling software that's going to be used for shift scheduling. Right now, once the schedule gets down to about a 2-week window, it gets very loose, and it's mostly just given to the general foreman to figure out and do the best they can. With Deswik Ops, that schedule will be taken down to the shift level. It is a good change. It'll be good for the town, it'll be good for the employees, it'll be good for the company. And change can be difficult, but we take on change all the time as long as we can see the benefit of it. If we can see the benefit, we grab up change really quickly. If we can't see the benefit, then we try to put off change as long as we can. And right now, we have a great opportunity to extend the mine life, but we have to take that opportunity. We have to seize it. And this is our chance.